Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we have entered day 191 plus of the ongoing Russia-Ukrainian war. And I wanted to do just a quick video today as we continue to monitor the conflict. Not a lot has changed since yesterday. We continue to see this attempted Ukrainian offensive taking place on the western bank of the Dnieper River. And again, not a lot has changed in terms of territorial gains or losses by either side. We can report that the fighting has been incredibly heavy on the western bank of the Dnieper River. Both sides are claiming to have inflicted massive amounts of casualties on both sides. The Ukrainians are reporting that they have killed between 200 and 500 Russian forces in the course of this offensive operations. The Russians are claiming that they have killed over 2,000 Ukrainian troops in the ongoing operation as well and destroyed over 100 tanks and armored fighting vehicles. There is also reports coming out of the Ukrainian media that seem to indicate that they believe they have gained some sort of air supremacy by using these MiG-29s augmented with high-speed anti-radiation missiles. Now, I wouldn't define it as air supremacy. It's interesting to see how the air forces of both sides are being utilized. We can see they're flying very, very low most of the time. And it does appear that both sides are doing quite a bit of blind firing. The Ukrainians obviously are launching the high-speed anti-radiation missiles in the direction that they believe the Russian forces' air defense networks are present. And then obviously as well, we have seen a lot of very interesting footage of some of these Russian attack helicopters, such as the K-52, being used as a airborne multiple launch rocket system. And I don't know if there's any attack helicopter pilots out there, but at least here in the United States, most of the time the Apaches that we would use are very, very precise in their attack method. They're using Hellfire missiles at standoff ranges and attacking targets very, very precisely with its either its radar system or the forward-looking infrared optics that are on board the helicopter. But in the case of some of these both Russian and Ukrainian methods of using these helicopters, they nose up and then they launch their rockets seemingly in a blind manner towards the enemy. And it's I would have never thought that we would see that sort of process being used when, I mean, we know the Russians have laser guided weapon systems for those helicopters. So the question is why are they using that tactic in terms of launching a barrage of rockets at an enemy they can't even see and then returning to their base? Is it because the Ukrainian air defense network is so robust that they simply do not wish to risk flying in the direction or getting close to Ukrainian-Russian the line of contact out of risk of being shot down? We do know that several, possibly dozens, of Russian helicopters have been shot down over the course of this conflict. So the question is just the air defense environment so robust that using these tactical air assets in the form of attack helicopters is becoming more and more difficult for the Russian forces? I know even in Iraq, during the active stages of the 2003 invasion, there were times where the United States used large numbers of Apaches in direct attacks against Iraqi units, and some of those attacks did not go so well for the United States, with many of those Apache attack helicopters suffering damage from air defense systems. So one can only presume that the Russians are facing very much their same predicament in terms of what is happening. But we'll continue to watch that in terms of just to kind of see the why behind the use of those attack helicopters and the way that they're being used. Furthermore, it sounds like there has been a directive coming out of the Kremlin for an immediate results in terms of conducting operations in and around the Donetsk region. It sounds like the Kremlin is looking for results and wants results rather quickly in terms of some of those reports that are coming out of at least Western media that indicates maybe the Kremlin is getting a little impatient in terms of what is happening on the ground. That is a report, again, coming out of Western media. We cannot confirm that, but nonetheless, I thought it was worth mentioning. And we do know that the Russians are continuing to build up its forces in the east and the south as we see some of these newer trained Russian units being deployed to the combat zone. But that pretty much does it for today. Again, not too much to report in terms of any sort of gains by the Ukrainians in this counteroffensive. It looks like the Russians have stopped them cold, and they're just not going to be able to proceed at this point. But we'll continue to monitor, report, and bring you more content for your consumption. Thanks for joining us, and always have a good day.